my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and I have a very special story to tell you. And to go with it, a comic haul, not an unboxing per se, but a comic haul. And it includes some original art, some signed books, and some pretty cool Golden Age. So you're probably wondering, what is this story that I have to tell you? Well, I've moved to Ottawa, so now I'm checking out the local scene and seeing what comic conventions are available locally. And there was one that was just a few weeks ago, and I figured I'd check it out, and it was much smaller than what I'm used to. It was really small. It was like a maybe 30 by 40 room, the size room, and it had maybe about 30 or 40 vendors inside. It had some original artists along the edge, and then in the middle it had a few people selling Golden Age, Silver Age, modern books, mostly modern. So it was an interesting mix of people, but very, very small, like venue. And it was also a venue where it was hard to, the venue itself, the lighting wasn't very good. So it was like looking at the books and it was like very dim. I don't know why the lighting was so poor, but it just was. But the people were really nice, and there were deals to be found. The prices were a bit high, I felt. But they were willing to trade, and I brought a ton of books to trade. I actually brought, I'll show you. I brought a bag like this. These were the ones that I brought to trade, and I actually it was double this. So I traded about half the books that I brought. And the books that I brought included I had a high grade Star Wars #2, ungraded, but it was probably a 9, but ungraded, and I had a whole bunch of ACG, like Silver Age books, and then I had what else did I have? I had a Josie #1, which was really low grade. Actually, it was one of those books that you buy and then you think, oh, you got a really great deal on it, and it turns out it was just beaten to death. So I was like, okay. So I traded that, and I had a really beaten up copy of G.I. Joe #1. So those were some of the books that I traded away, and I had some cash. I had about $180 worth of cash. But generally, when I go to these conventions, I have two thoughts in my mind. One, I don't want to use my cash actually to get comics. I want to use my cash to help artists. So generally what I'll do is I'll spend the cash on the artists and use my comics to get other comics. So just trading to get comics for my collection. Now all the books that I traded are ones that are duplicates for my collection. These are not ones that I really need to keep in my collection, because I'm always happy with just having one copy and the best copy that I can get for my collection. So I traded away a lot of ones that were really low grade for the most part. So what did I get? Okay, so I did use some cash, and I'll show you what happened. So there was one vendor who actually had like a whole bunch of not dollar bin, but close to dollar bin. His thing was it was six books for $10. So not quite a dollar each, but in American that's almost a dollar each. Actually, it was like $1.25 each, maybe in US dollars. And so I was going through his books, and I found a couple of cool ones. So I found like Farmhand, okay, which is kind of a cool zombie story. This book was actually hot a little while ago. And there was another one, You Promised Me Darkness #1. And I got Farmhand #2. And then I was looking for variants for Stray Dogs, like all these horror movie homage covers. So I got like Stray Dogs Part 4, 5, actually, part 5. And then another Stray Dogs one. So these were all just different Stray Dogs, you know, homage covers. I just thought they were cool. And some of them I have, I think, but some I didn't. So I just wanted to get ones that I, get as many homage ones as he had. Now, if you do the math of the books I just showed, I showed 8 books. And it was 6 for $10. Now I was like, oh, okay, I got too many, so how much are the extra 2? And then he was like, oh, they're just $1 each since you bought so many. So I was like, okay, that's like $12. But then I saw a slab that I wanted. And look, so here's the slab. And it's a 9.6. It's not it's not 9.8, but it is a signed copy. So this was signed by David Finch. And I thought, wow, that's kind of cool. This is the first appearance of Ronin, character that was shown in Endgame. It's Hawkeye when he goes to Japan and he's like going around slaughtering everybody. He's Ronin, and also in the Hawkeye TV series, they were auctioning off his Ronin costume. And there is some rumor that Ronin might play a role in the next Echo show. So I have this book already, and I didn't pay much for it, but I thought, hey, having a slab copy, and it's kind of a nice cover, I thought it'd be a fun one to get. And I like the fact that it's signed too. I think it's cool. So $80 seemed like reasonably fair. But the guy said, hey, I'll throw in all those other ones if you buy the slab, because I only had $80 left in cash. So he gave me basically this and the comics for $80. So I thought, that's not too bad. That's a pretty cool deal. So it was $80 Canadian, which is about $55 US. So yeah, so that, I don't know, I thought it was pretty cool. So nice signature right there, good placement, and just a cool book. So that that was the first thing I got, or one of the things that I got. Another thing that I got, which I thought was really cool, was this. This is Indian Warriors. Now this is now, the guy, he thought it was the first L.B. Cole Star Comics comic, but it isn't. I checked later. Like, he wrote a whole bunch of stuff. He wrote, okay, I'll read what he wrote. It's $200 Canadian, again. 1951, Star number 7. Previous, The Last of the Mohicans, Inc., L.B. Cole, First Star. He wrote First Star on it. You can see that. Okay, so that's what he wrote. It's not the first star, but it is an L.B. Cole cover, and it is a first print, which is really what I was looking for. I'm a big L.B. Cole collector, and I thought this was a reasonably cool cover. Bit L.B. Cole-ish, in terms of the color palette. I just thought it was a very action-y, kind of cool cover. Now, he wanted $200, so what did I trade? I traded my Star Wars number 2 and I think some other books, just like a couple little books. Akira, I traded Akira as well. I think it was that, Akira, and Akira number 1 I had a copy of, and some other book. So it was 3 books for this one. So those were all duplicates, and I actually bought them, except for the Star Wars number 2. I didn't pay that much for it. I bought them for cover price. so I thought, hey, I get a cooler book. I already have, either doubles or triples of some of those books. So I didn't mind. I thought it was a good trade. You can tell me in the comments below if you would trade a Star Wars, high grade Star Wars number 2, Kira number 1, and some other not such a great book, but book. So yeah, so that's what I got for this. Next was, I saw somebody, actually, it was not just that I got from the guy. So it was actually two things I got from the guy. So I traded those 3 books, But I got that, and I got this one. I thought this was kind of cool. This is Zoot. It's an incomplete copy. It's missing one story page. Tape repair, top spine. But it was $40. And I just traded some. Yeah, I didn't trade much for it. So I thought that was kind of cool. Actually, the other thing I brought was Lois Lanes, and I traded a lot of Lois Lanes. So I think I traded some Lois Lanes as well. So just a cool book. It was one that I needed. This is Zoot number 16, I believe. Does it say? Yes, it says somebody wrote on it, number 16. So yeah, just one that I needed for my collection. I thought it was kind of cool. So why not? Zoot. So I've been trying to get a complete run of Zoot. And I think it's either Matt Baker or not LB Cole, Jack Kamen cover. It's not one. It's one of those ones where they don't necessarily distinguish who did the cover. Okay, so that was another thing that I picked up. I thought it was pretty cool. When I entered, actually, I forgot to show this. The first thing I got, the first comic that I got, was this one, the Supreme. They actually gave this to everybody entering, like that. I paid the extra $2 to be like a VIP person, and they gave you like a little bag, and they would give you this comic. So I got this comic for free. Not a big. I thought it was, when I first saw it, I thought it was a modern variant, like bringing back Supreme or something like that, which would mean that it would probably have more value to it than if it was the original. But I think it is the original. So this is Supreme number 1, volume 2. Not even Supreme number 1. So just kind of a funny book. Yeah, I got that for free, so I can't really complain. It's worth about $2. So, okay, the next thing was I actually met an artist. Oh, actually, I forgot to mention that the one that I got the slab from, he said, oh yeah, everybody that buys a slab gets a free artwork. So I got some free art, free poster. So I got this for free. I thought, hey, this is kind of a cool Wonder Woman poster. And it's free. He had me on free. I thought he gave me the slab, the extra comics, the extra 8 comics, and the poster for free. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that was pretty cool. And I'm a big Wonder Woman fan. But then, as I was saying, I met an artist. And I did an artist interview. You'll see that either, I'm not sure if it will play before this video or after this video, but you'll see it at some point on a Saturday. I'll put it in my my feed for when the video goes out, but it'll be sometime around when this video airs. And the artist was really nice. His name was Ron Sutton, and he did a lot of work for Elvira. And he was just a really cool guy, and he's very old school in terms of the way he does art. And I was saying, oh, do you sell any original art? And the art that he was selling that was original wasn't particularly the kind of style that I liked. Not that I'm saying that the art was bad or anything like that. It's just not. I generally gravitate to the good girls, maybe some kind of cool stuff, but it was all swashbuckler men. So wasn't really what I was interested in. However, he was working on a piece, and I was like, oh, that's a cool piece. I kind of was, hoping to get something Elvira-ish from him. And he was just working on a piece just for fun, and he was working on this piece, which I thought was really nice. And it's like a Elvira with these 2 skeletons. I guess he'd even finish it. I was like, I'll buy that from you. And he sold me this for like $100. So I gave him cash for it. And I just thought it was a really great cover. Not cover, but original art piece. And, I like the little skeletons. I like when skeletons still have their eyes. It looks a little bit more creepy. I think that's kind of fun. And it's just a really cool Elvira. So, great line work and stuff. And so after I paid the $100, he signed it. And then he had some posters that he was offering for sale, um, just on the table, and I was like kind of looking at one. I was like, oh, I just used all my cash. I don't wanna, I didn't bring any much cash with me. And then he said, hey, I'll throw one of those in. And he threw in a cool poster as well. So he threw in a poster and he signed it as well. You can see his little, has this kind of cool coffin signature, right? And it's coffin, and then he signs it right there. So yeah, so I think this actually was stamped on it, but yeah, just a really cool Elvira thing. And you got all these like heads in, like looks like Elvis's head, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. I forgot who said this is. It's not. I thought it was Cthulhu, but it's not Cthulhu. It's somebody from EC Comics, and it was just a cool book. So I just thought a cool cover. I mean, a cool poster. Wow. And you got this guy kind of peeping over here. Yeah, it's just a great Elvira cover poster. Okay, so that was cool. So that's where all my cash went. So on the slab and that. So that's all the cash that I brought, which was not much cash. And then there was still one vendor left that I got stuff from. And I was kind of looking for Dazzler, actually, believe it or not. Ended up buying the whole set of Dazzler after the convention, but this one I thought, hey, this guy he had some Dazzler. I was asking, do you have any Dazzler? His prices were really high, actually, I thought. But he also had some 10-cent Lone Rangers, and I thought those were cool. So I got the Dazzlers and some other, I'll show you the books that I got from him. So we'll start with the Dazzlers. So I'll show you what I mean by them being overpriced. But I traded comics for them, so yeah, it wasn't too bad. This is where I traded my Josie #1, actually, to get all these. So we got Dazzler. This, kind of a cool cover. But he wanted $8 each Canadian, so I thought that was a little bit much. I mean, the grades aren't bad. They're nothing, like, they're solid, but you can get these for like $2-3 online. So I thought that was a little bit expensive. $8 Canadian is a little bit more than what you can normally buy them at. But I thought they were still cool. And I'm trading for them, so I was willing to kind of trade a bit. It's more Dazzler. It's like a photo cover almost. And some more Dazzler. So I got a bunch of Dazzler. I picked all the kind of fun covers. And a Doctor Doom cover. I thought this was kind of nice. Yeah, so that was fun. And then I also found this one. I thought was really great. It's like some variant cover, but it's just really great. Like a male zombie and male mummy and a and a woman mummy, and they're going after Elvira. I just thought it was a great cover, and yeah, he wanted $20 for it. So these were the things I traded. So there was that group of books, and then he had a whole bunch of Lone Rangers. So I'll show you the Lone Rangers. I believe most of these are from the 50s to the 60s. They're not the older ones. You'll see what I'm saying, but these are Dell. Now, Dell didn't adopt the Comic Code Authority, so sometimes you might get confused and think, oh, it's a 10-cent book, so it must be, and there's no code, so it must be Golden Age, but that doesn't necessarily happen all the time. It's not always true. These could actually be Silver Age, but they're still cool. And so Lone Ranger, he wanted $15 each, so I thought that was even a little high. Lone Rangers don't really go for that much, strangely. And then we got one. This is Lone Ranger, another Lone Ranger, number 137. Actually, he puts on the back of them what number it is, so that's always useful. So that was 137. The other one was 72. And this is 78. I like these kind of painted covers. And then we got number 67. I don't know. I thought they were fun. I don't have any Lone Rangers in my collection. I liked Lone Ranger as a kid. And then 135, which is a photo cover. So it was a pretty big haul from that one vendor, and I traded some Lois Lane and my Josie #1. And yeah, that was the, and also my G.I. Joe #1. But it was really both the Josie #1 and the G.I. Joe #1 were really beaten up, like G copies of both. You know, they're just really beaten up copies, like maybe 1.8 level, like really low grade. And then the Lois Lanes were like nothing special, but kind of some cool-ish Lois Lane ones, because Lois Lane's always fun. So I traded my duplicates of those and the Josie and the G.I. Joe for all these books. So I thought, I'd be curious what people think. Is that a good deal? Did I get the short end of the stick? Generally, as a collector, when you're trading with a dealer, you're going to get the short end of the stick. It's just part of the deal, because they have to make money. They have to, they have to get the better end of the deal because they need to make money. They're not going to bother trading if they're not making money on it. So I don't mind losing out a little bit, and these were my duplicates. So it wasn't something where I felt really like compelled to, like, oh, I got to keep my books and get the top dollar for them. There were more books that I didn't mind trading. So, but that's it. Those are the books that I got in this haul. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's kind of me telling you a story about the comic convention. It was fun. Everyone was really polite and really nice. And it was a pretty fun experience. I didn't really spend that much time there because there really wasn't that much to see. However, I did do some short videos where I showed me digging through the long boxes, and I did find a dealer that had some pretty cool books. I wish he was a little bit distant in the way he was talking, though. So I really didn't, I was thinking of interviewing him and really discussing the books, but he was a little bit distant. But he did have some cool books. He had a first appearance of Two-Face, which I was interested in. He had a Foom, like the prototype for Wolverine. Is it Wolverine? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Wolverine. And what else did he have? He had FF12, which is a book I'm kind of looking for. And he had one other major... he had like the second cover appearance of the Penguin. And it was, he had a couple cool books. So I was like, oh, these are pretty cool books. And I was kind of negotiating with him to see what kind of prices he wanted on those books. Oh, he also had the first appearance of Lex Luthor. And his prices were, I found, a little high. So I was like, oh... but he was maybe willing to work on a payment plan. So maybe in the future, you might see those books in my collection. So you never know. But it was pretty fun experience. I enjoyed it for the most part. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, thanks for watching. Bye for now.